Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the John Everyman Show.
Yeah, guys, we are back. We are continuing these quarantine chronicles. I am not stopping with these. We have to entertain some way, somehow. I don't know what else to do right now. I mean, my Fridays for what seems like years on end already have been dedicated to this show. I don't do it any other time. I don't know what else to do with this time on a Friday. Like, we legit have to non-exist on this planet for this podcast right now to be done. Shout out to my crew. They are not here. I know they're self-quarantine right now. They're doing their safe distancing or their social distancing. Shout out to all the guys. I do keep in touch with them. Also, shout out to Mountain View, California, man. I love that city, man. That city has been checking in with us this entire time, man. I love that city just checks this show out, man. You guys show us a lot of love out there. Shout out to you guys in Mountain View, man, in San Jose, California, man. West Coast, West Side.
Oh my God, don't do that no more.
You sure? That sounded pretty cool. I felt pretty cool. But yeah, people, we got more guests, man. We got more people we're gonna talk to. We're gonna check out people's lives in these quarantine days. That's why I call these quarantine chronicles, because I'm chronicalizing all of this stuff. But it's gonna be pretty cool. This week we're gonna switch gears, man. I feel like I've had a chance to really get a sense of what's going on in Florida for the last couple weeks. But I want to step out. I want to venture. I want to go and take us outside of Florida without having to leave. When was the last time any of us left anywhere? And I'm gonna help us do that right now. What? They don't let us get on planes, right? So I'm going to be your pilot. I'm going to be your virtual pilot. I'm going to take us around the country. I'm not going to take us international over waters. You know, we're not ready for that just yet. You know, let's wait another 14 days before I start doing international interviews. I'm not ready for those. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do.
Next topic.
We have one of our missing co-hosts, a person that I was hyping up here about for the last 5 minutes. We have the golden god himself, No Emotion. What's up, man?
Yeah, look at my mask. It's golden. Don't ask who am I. No emotion. Yeah. Defeating Corona with Heineken.
What's going on? I can't see what's on the top of your head. Do you have oh, wow, you got a Japanese bandana going on.
Yeah, it's the #1 headband because I'm #1.
Have you learned some sort of new art in the Asian community?
I've learned mastery of self, and I've just been skateboarding.
That's what I'm talking about. No Emotion, let me ask you, man. First off, how are you during these unusual times that we're experiencing, first off?
Well, I don't want to say that I'm feeling sick, but I'm feeling sick of all of this shit talking about how people are feeling sick.
But as a god, do you even get sick? Is that something that's possible?
I don't really get sick. I get sniffles, from drugs.
What's in a situation like this, what is No Emotion's favorite thing to do, in a downtime situation, I guess, because this isn't something that happens often enough. What does No Emotion find himself doing right now in these moments?
I've been skateboarding and learning that my feet could bend. Like, you know how gorillas and orangutans can hang from their feet?
Yes.
and how their feet can bend.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out how I can jerk off with my feet.
You know
Because
what?
if they can do it, so can I. God damn it!
But wait a minute.
White people have been calling us monkeys for so long. I might as well make use of the term and figure out how to jerk this dick with these feet, right? And now that I got this weird smell on it, I got some weird smell coming from my feet. Might as well put it on this beak, you know?
Let me ask, man. I just overheard a conversation recently, watching another podcast. Shout out to the homies, hit me up Vegas, man. And they brought up a subject, man, that was fascinating. Now, there's apparently some rival monkey gangs in some sort of country overseas that are kind of getting into gang battles, now that there's not a lot of people populating certain occupied areas. But if you had
My
to
nigga
write
Caesar. That's Caesar and them niggas, man. Them little monkey crazy.
but if you had to write a movie, the title to a movie in regards to a script like that, like monkey gang violence, like what would you name that movie?
What would I call it? I would name it Bananas and Nakedness.
I was thinking bananas, man. Like I had bananas on my mind too. I was like, what do you call that? Banana battles? Like what's?
I'd call it like bananas and nakedness.
Monkey business.
Yeah, lots of they're usually naked, until they figure out that they need to put a leaf over their cock and their vagina, or at least a leaf over their nipples. They're just monkeys.
Let me ask you, man, how are the rest of the label mates off Penis and Vagina Records, man? How are they doing?
Everybody's doing good. We think that Simpy is sick and we got him in quarantine. Nobody's bringing him any food or water, so hopefully he just doesn't spread it.
So wait, so Simpy's sick, but what about his girlfriend?
Molly fucking also has him in quarantine and nobody's just talking to him. Nobody's giving him any contact.
Wow, man. Wow, that is crazy.
Good. Shaggy Bowles he's been at the beach still just healing people with random remedies. Bravo.
Get the fuck out of town, man.
Twisted Foreskin has been out angry because he doesn't have anywhere to take girls out on a date to bring them home,
Damn, man, that is some real shit, man. Well, I'm hoping they'll pull together, especially Simpy there, like, cause he's a nice guy, man, and I know that Twisted Foreskin ain't really a big fan of his, but like, he's an all right dude. Like, I mean, I felt for the guy. He was in love every time he could. Every time he could think of Molly, he would.
Yeah, Trapper Keeper is doing good, man. He's everybody's been in quarantine, everybody's home, so everybody wants to get high and do random drugs. So Trapper Keeper's been selling lots of work. He's actually going to be dropping a new song probably later today. He's going to be performing on the stage of the Nemoli Motion.
What? Speaking of new music, man, I just saw you dropped a video for COVID Clitoris 1,900.
Yeah, I did COVID Clitoris. My most recent one was American Englishness.
What's the inspiration, man, beyond COVID-19? What else gave it inspiration, or was it just strictly the COVID-19 that's inspiring this project?
Well, the name of the song is called COVID 1900.
Okay.
So what what the song was inspired was see what had happened was I had went to a pet store one time, right? After the virus strike. And I tried to go to the pet store before the virus spread to the animals in the pet store, so I wanted to free them. So I was in the pet store and I saw a baby Bengal, and the Bengal actually had COVID-19. So I was so sad that the baby Bengal had 1,900 little stripes on it. So I decided to name the song COVID 1900 in dedication to the baby Bengal that I discovered in the pet shop that I wasn't able to afford because I needed to save money for tuna.
But that's an inspiring song, man. I believe that Baby Bengal now will be more recognized and, you know,
Actually,
supported.
they just recently murdered the baby Bengal, aka euthanized, in order to make baby Bengal headbands.
What we need is Baby Bengal protective masks. Like right now,
You do need to take some baby Bengal protective masks. I was just watching watching a YouTube video how you can make fucking safety masks out of used condoms.
out of I'm gonna skip on that one, man. But I hear you though. I mean, we all got to get crafty. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, you gotta figure out how to reuse things these days. You know, times is rough. Okay, no toilet paper.
Let me ask you something.
When you run out of, you know what the first thing you're supposed to do when you run out of toilet paper?
What's that?
You gotta clip your nails.
Clip your nails. Whoa. Nah. Like, listen, man, before I clip my nails, the tub is right. Listen, man, I thought about this. Okay, if I run out of toilet paper, the shower's right next to me, man. I'm not going anywhere. I don't mind washing my ass in the doo-doo chunks in the damn tub. Like, how big are those chunks that you gonna be grossed out? All you gonna see is some brown water fall down to the drain. Like,
yeah, for real. I'm not a stranger to shitting in the shower, man. It's just like
I mean, I ain't gone that far, but like, I think the worst thing that's happened to me shitting,
So you're telling me you never sat down to take a shit and just decided to just let it happen in the shower? I'm the only one?
Nah, I mean, I've taken a shower where I wanted to take a shit. But like what I've done is like I stopped taking the shower, I'll speed up that bath and go take a shit and be like, fuck it, we're going backwards today.
So you're saying if you're in the middle of a shower and you get the urge to shit, you're gonna stop your shower?
I might cut it, I might hurry up and speed it. Yeah, I'm not doing it in the shower, son.
Nah, man. Yo, just let that shit happen.
Listen, man. Like, listen, bro, I'm not. It's not happening. It's not because, yo, what if it's like a big chunk?
Yo, I got a good plumber, man. He's gonna make sure you're. See, my drains in my shower, like most drains, are only, I think it's 8 inches in diameter. My drains are always 12 inches in diameter in my shower.
See, that's the thing. I live in an old school apartment, man, and the size of doo-doo that come out my ass, it ain't making it down that drain, son.
It's a fecal diameter. It's an actual measurement.
The girth of my fucking mojons ain't letting it.
Fecal diameter is a measurement, just like giving a cunt hair. I'm sure you know the measurement. How many inches exactly is the cunt hair?
I mean, it's got to be what, millimeters?
That big.
Yeah. No.
Give it a cunt hair.
Oh, you mean in length though? I thought we were talking in diameter.
Yeah, I'm talking measurements, diameter, everything.
I don't know no cunt hair that big.
There's the circumference of fecal, and there's also a cunt hair.
Man, I don't know. I don't know about that type of cunt hair. Let me ask you, man. In these quarantine times, and we've mentioned it here a couple of times already. Drugs. What's the best drugs to do during these quarantines? Is it just weed and alcohol, or is there anything better? Should you do cocaine during these times?
No, you shouldn't. I've realized the best, like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, right? But the best drug to do is to spin around, then meditate and take a nap.
How are you gonna? What does that do to you?
That shit'll scramble your giblets up. I'll tell you that. with
Go to
those
sleep
you fucking
dizzy as
spin
shit.
around, keep spinning as fast as you can for fucking 2 minutes. Then sit down and meditate and just close your eyes and let the darkness wobble and then take a nap.
You know, it's funny, man. Like, I'm kind of tempted to want to do that now.
Yo, do you think that I don't do it?
I believe it. With you, I do. Like
I
with
will
you, I
spin
do.
around. I will spin around 25 times.
Oh
Then
man.
right when I think that I'm gonna fall and bust my head, right? I'll just immediately drop down to the floor, meditate with my eyes closed, feel my body wobbling, right? And right when I'm about to mellow out, I go lay down and take a nap.
I got my last question here for you, man. No emotion. Does no emotion watch porn here during these quarantine times?
I haven't watched porn during quarantine times only because I'm mad that I know that they're able to be together and like there's multiple people during the filming. Like I can't watch porn or any TV shows because I'm like, you guys aren't even going through the virus right now. But I have watched the porn where the people are in the full medical suits. Where they have the mask on and shit. They look like they're doctors, but like you know what I'm saying? Like that's
You watching
cool,
med
bro.
porn. Oh man, no emotion, man. So you got a new album coming out, or what's going on here?
I actually do, man. During this whole quarantine, man, I actually been recording a lot. I recorded a whole album that's gonna be dropping soon with my boy Ayoy. He was the person that produced the album called American Hentai, and he also produced my album called Drive By Cum Shots.
Oh wow, that's a classic right there, man.
So my next album is going to be called Ali Ali Oxenfree.
Ali oxen free.
Do you know what that means when you hear that term? What does that mean to you, Ali Ali Oxenfree?
Well, for me, it reminds me of a game when you play when it's like almost like a hide and seek, right? Wasn't that like to a game of hide and seek?
Yes, it was hide and seek.
Yeah, so that's why I remember that Ali oxen free, and then you go chase him.
And then everybody comes outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I did it, because everybody's inside. And I'm gonna when my album comes out, Ali Oxenfree, everybody's allowed to come outside now. Come on, let's go play. You know?
Well, my friend, where can people find it?
It's not out yet. So right now I just got the artwork done. I got my boy Johnny Newbrand that does all my artwork. He's working putting the finishing touches. The only thing he has to do to the album cover is add the #1 headband.
Hell yeah, that's a dope
headband.
headband.
Add the #1 headband to the album cover. I'm gonna have my boy Ayoy. He's mixing it down, but he's gonna release that. But I'm also dropping music every day or every other day. So, like yesterday, I dropped the song American English Kiss, and then I've been dropping songs, and then later tonight or tomorrow morning, Trap the Keeper is gonna drop a song, and then No Emotion, and then everybody's gonna be dropping songs, man, performing in the great golden arena of, you know what I'm saying, the Golden Slumber Dome.
Man, I am excited for it. I'm sure there's a lot of fans of yours that are looking forward to some new content right now, man, because Lord knows they can use it, especially from a golden God like you. It's always good to be visited by a God, especially in these tough times.
Yes, yes.
Any last minute words here or any last second words you want to say to the listeners?
The only thing I want to say to people, man, take this shit serious, you know what I'm saying? Even though I've been telling people for years that the government was going to figure out a way to control all of us, keep us in our homes, how they were going to limit the highways, the chemtrails, 5G, all of this shit is connected, man. Don't think that the person that knows about what the fuck is going on is crazy, bro. Motherfuckers knew this shit was gonna happen. I've been showing people videos and pictures of the FEMA camps that are now filled with people and dead bodies for the last fucking 15 years. I knew about the plot, right? But I didn't know how it was gonna unfold. So it's like I'm terrified, but I'm not afraid because I knew it was coming. It's like I always kind of knew a bunch of shit was gonna happen, but I just didn't know when and how.
Yeah,
Now
no,
it's
I,
happening.
I
It's
I
like,
agree, man. I agree. I heard it growing up through folklore, if you will. At that time, it was folklore, and I always had that in the back of my head, but not, when you think about it, when you think of situations like this, you ought to think of them in a movie, or they might happen 100 years from now in your mind, and
yeah,
the last thing you were thinking that it was going to happen in present day in your life like this,
yeah. I didn't think it was gonna happen in my lifetime at all, but I knew it was gonna happen. It's kind of like I knew that I just knew that all of this shit was gonna happen, but I just didn't know how. We didn't know it was gonna be a virus, but just like how the one conspiracy thing that has not happened yet, that is going to happen most likely, is that most of the Walmarts are going to be used to be able to they're going to gut out the Walmarts, and they're going to use those things to kind of like process all of the humans in America. So all of your Walmarts that's in your neighborhood, once you see them shits, like let's say you live in a small town and you have a Walmart that's shut down. Once you see those motherfuckers in there talking about, yeah, come on down and fucking fill out your fucking food stamp papers in the old Walmart, that's when the fucking whole shit is really coming into play, because they created the Walmart stores all over the world, so they'll have big ass places to be able to process all of us.
Yeah, it's like we're all gonna be we're all gonna be systematic. I mean, we're all gonna turn into. I mean, I think when this happened, we lost the first world status. I think the whole world basically became a second world. I mean,
Yeah, we no, we became one world.
well, one world,
We
but I mean,
became the
in
new
the
world
social
order.
class system, first world is capitalism, second world is socialism, third world is, pretty much
No,
what
I
you see.
feel you, but the plan is to make the whole world become one. And the only way to make the world become one is to make everybody sick with the same thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had no idea how they were going to do it. I had no idea their plan. But their plan to make the New World Order, the NWO, to make us all one nation, is to get everybody sick and make every governor say, okay, so right now, niggas in Africa, right, in Djibouti, these niggas never wash their hands a day in their life, right?
Right.
So these niggas is in this weird tribe or fucking some Asian somewhere. They never wash their hands. But now the world government is saying, everybody wash your hands, everybody do this, everybody do that. So everybody's following the same rules. The entire world is following the same exact rules. So it's the beginning of everybody falling under one thought, one government, one idea.
The
The
Zagat
next
theory,
step
as they
is
say.
going to be the vaccination.
That's
The
that's
vaccination is the next step.
yeah.
Like, like
I've
when you
even
go to
seen.
travel out of town,
Yeah,
or not out of town, when you leave the state, you get the shot that leaves a little circle on your arm.
yeah. The I forget what the name of that one is, but
Huh?
yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Can you hear me?
But everybody that's been out of the country, they get that mark. Yeah, I hear you. So who that little circle on your skin when you travel out of town, it's like a symbol. So when you get this vaccination, if that shit leaves any kind of mark on us, right? When we get the vaccination, we are going into shit coming from thousands of years, because my nigga, we telling on each other constantly. I was talking to Rick that you're gonna have on later on, and he was telling me that in New York they cut down all the basketball rims, they cut everything down because everybody's telling on everybody. So imagine you in the grocery store and you like, hey nigga, where's your mark on your hand at? Did you get vaccinated? I don't want to shop next to you because you didn't get vaccinated. So The whole beginning to the end, it's amongst us, guys.
There you go, my friends. Guys, I'm gonna hold him there because if not, he's gonna make your heads explode. No emotion. Those are some real deep words, man. I hope all you guys are listening to that because there's a lot of truth to be told in what we were discussing here right now. We're headed into a new world, and we just got to be prepared because this is gonna be some unprecedented changes across the board. No emotion. I appreciate you, man. I miss you. I hope to have you in studio soon in this new world that
Man,
I'm sorry, I lost. You got me there. You still got me.
yeah, I'm here. I hear you.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man. I appreciate you guys. Check out his music. Go on his YouTube channel. No Emotion Gold Mask. Penis and Vagina Records is the label. Traffic Keeper's got a new song coming out pretty soon here. You said tonight or pretty soon, right?
Yeah, tonight or tomorrow.
All right, awesome. No Emotion. Hope to have you in studio very soon, man. We miss you very much, and thank you for your time, my brother. Stay safe, you and your family.
All right, man. Stay safe.
Next topic.
This next guest we have here on the show, guys, this is a guy that's no stranger to our podcast. He turned our studio upside down with his presence that day. This is a guy, like I said, we hyped him up the last couple weeks to be on this show. And finally, we have him here. I am super duper excited right now to say this. Guys, we have Freddie Stebbins, man. Finally!
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very happy. Very happy for to be inside of you today. Beautiful.
I'll be honest, Freddie, man, with all this quarantine going on, man, I'll be happy for anything to be inside of me right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, by the time this is all over, man, a bunch of people are going to be trading teams everywhere. They're going to be like, I don't give a fuck, man. Just touch me.
Oh yeah. Quarantine me, brother. Quarantine my ass.
Oh, man, how are you, man? How are you doing?
I'm good, John. I'm good. It's really great to be with you. I'm here self-isolating in front of the CVS pharmacy on Southwest 57th Avenue and Bird Road.
That is, man, that's very exact. What are you doing hanging out there? You trying to catch people and be like, hey?
No, I'm actually staying. I decided to stay with my parents for a few weeks, and I'm just fucking walking. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, okay, that's good, man. That's the only thing anyone can do nowadays. If you're not an essential worker, all you are is just this jazzerciser that just walks around
but really,
neighborhoods.
What is essential? No one's really essential anymore, right? I mean, if you think about it, I mean, the only people that are essential are people that work in hospitals right now. None of us are essential. I'm not essential. You're essential. No one else really is essential anymore. So
listen, I took a job with Instacart recently and Postmates just to kind of even out the pockets, and they say that we're essential, man. I feel important. I felt important for a little bit.
Well, what I wanted to do, John, if you don't mind, is I'd like to introduce you to some essential people that I happen to be standing next to.
Oh, okay. Who do you got?
That are from Miami, and all of these essential people all have something to say about the coronavirus.
Oh, no, please.
Are you ready?
Introduce.
Okay. The first one is our president, Donald Trump, who just happens to be standing next to me. Here we go. I just want to say it's great to be here. Great to be here, John. Every other man. So good to be here. Love your show. This is a show, right? What is this? Yeah, great to be here. We're going to put a wall around Miami. We're going to put a wall around Hialeah. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to cover it in arroz con pollo. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. Okay, I got to go. By the way, we've got this under control. Everything's fine. And I love Mexicans. Thank you.
Damn, Freddie, you had the president right now?
Yeah. Okay, here I have someone else. This guy is Michael McSuckcocker. He's a Scottish gay guy who just happens to be lost in South Beach. Here we go. Come, Michael, come over here. Well, it's great to be here. My name is Michael McSuckucker. Oh, I understand I'm on your podcast. Listen, Mr. Everyman, I saw your picture and you've got a big, big corona, don't you? Ooh, happy birthday. Oh, man, I love it down here in South Beach. Tell me, do you have any Cuban in or Scottish in you?
More Cuban than Scottish, man.
Whoa, would you like some? Anyways, I'm going to let you go. Take care. Bye. All right. Here we go. This person is the Reverend
Oh.
Joseph McGillicuddy, and he's from Cutler Ridge. Hold on. He's a cracker. Hold on. Let us pray. Dear white Republican Jesus in heaven, one that looks a little bit like the one on my grandmother's wall with your blonde hair and your bluish eyes and your slightly Jewish looks. Please, dear Jesus, please bless all the gays and Mexicans and coronavirus people in Miami. And most of all, dear Lord, please bless my slightly overweight, somewhat looking like Mr. 305 John Everman. And please let him know that though he's not that funny, his podcast will get listeners. Amen.
That's why we keep this podcast going, hoping that right now with no one home, they'll listen.
It's okay. It's okay. Here, this one is from Lisette. Lisette is great. She works at every doctor's office in the world in South Florida. And Lisette is a Cuban-American girl. She's 35, so she's more than a girl. And she's a hero now because you've seen her at every medical office in Miami your entire life. Here's Lisette.
Oh, man.
Like, oh my God, how are you? It's so good to be here. Oh my gosh, shut the fuck up. My name's Lisette, and I work at every doctor's office that you've ever been to in Miami. Hi, how are you? Am I on the radio, on the air?
Yeah, you
Hello?
sure are.
Oh my God, that's super cute. You sound just like Laz, my ex Laz. Laz is like my favorite. Like Laz is like, I mean, we broke up, but like we're considering getting back together. Like we have a baby, but like we're not together. But like whatever, it's not story. But anyways, I just want to tell everyone that like I'm super fine. Everything's fine with me. As you know, I went to Miami-Dade College, but I want to transfer to FIU. And then after I transfer to FIU, right now I'm working at HML Dental Clinic for the Osteoporosis Society of Southern Dade County. And like right now, after this, I want to go to Fat Tuesdays, but it's closed. So I'm going to go to my mother's house and just like self-incubate, whatever. Okay, seriously, you look super hot. Can I just tell you? And like, I love you and like whatever. Hold on. Okay, hello? Anyways, super cute. Bye.
Oh my God, Freddie.
Isn't she great?
Freddie, man, you got to make sure you social distance from these people, man.
I'm sorry, they come over. I'm standing in front of the CVS pharmacy.
Wipe the phone down on that last one.
Hold on. There's someone here. What? Okay, this man wants to say something. He used to be a doctor. You were a doctor, sir? Yeah. Hold on a second. My name's Saul Rosencrantz, and I practice medicine in White Plains, New York, in 1962. The reason why we have this virus is not because of the Chinese. That's racist. It's because of the Japs. Japanese people have always infected white people. And this is, I'm not saying this as a racist. Of course, I'm Jewish. I think that what we need to do is get a bunch of dim sum and maybe a little bit of, what's the horseradish? Hold on. Shelley, what's the horseradish that the Japanese use? The wasabi. Wasabi cures corona. Mark it. Okay, take care. Sorry about that. He wanted to say something.
That's fine. I wrote that one down.
Yeah.
Freddie, man, let me ask you, man. You know, last time we spoke, it's so many things that I again, you know, I follow a lot of your work, man. You have done so much recently, man. You've continued with the tour you had going with the Was it like a history of Miami?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, I've been doing a one-man show about the history of Miami, and I've been taking it around to public libraries, schools, stuff like that. And I get up there and I impersonate all the famous people and characters that we've seen in Miami's history going back 120 years. And with that, I have behind me like a PowerPoint slideshow,
Yeah.
So like I'll start as Henry Flagler, the father of Miami, and I'll teach the people about Miami. It's like an hour-long show, and every 20 years I come out as a different character. So it's kind of it's funny, and it's got a lot of good reviews.
Yeah, no,
so
it's been phenomenal. Like I said, I attended one of the shows, man, and it was entertaining and just educational. It's like you took two elements there, man, and just made it great, and much kudos to you on that. But
thanks, man.
In relation to that topic, man, and I know we discussed this previously on when we had you on. You're a professor. You've done history. Was it history, correct? That with you taught history.
I'm actually a sociologist, but I study the sociology of,
which is even better. I think
the culture of South Florida, but I'm also a historian.
Right.
So
which is what I remember.
I'm an expert on South Florida history. Yeah.
Right. And and this is one of the reasons I was excited to have you on, because this question, I've been wanting to ask it, but I wanted to ask the right person on my show. I wanted the most intelligent answer possible, because it's not the right answer, if you will, but more of a rhetorical answer in the sense of
the answer is I'm HIV negative. So don't worry.
Okay, cool, man. Because this quarantine stuff, I got to check with certain people. But listen. But my question to you is that with what's going on, right?
Yeah.
You as a historian and are familiar with similar situations in history, and as a sociologist, what do you think is history's going to say about us when this is all said and done in the next 50 to 100 years from now? What do you think they're going to pinpoint out of all of us as a whole, I guess?
Do you mean, are you speaking in regards to humanity in general, or just to Americans, or
well, I would have relegated just to Americans, but I think that being that we're all as a whole in it, what do you think history books are going to look at us as a whole, I guess, is the most ideal question.
Yeah, and the reality is that for every country in the world, this really is the first time that everyone has really ever dealt with this, right? I mean, basically since 1918, and the world is a different place since then. So, I would say that in a decade from now or 100 years from now, people are going to look back at this era and say that overall, it was handled relatively well. I believe that. I think that this. I'm surprised that that the governments have been effective in shutting down, businesses and the economy and society, and that's a big sacrifice. And everyone seems to be doing it, and I think that it is helping a little bit. I think also in the future, people are going to look back at this and say, "Wow, they could have done so many other things better as well."
I think so. I think you're always going to have two sides of this retrospect, but this is all going to go down in some sort of textbook, and it's going to be taught to generations now that'll be coming. It's been the most curious thing in my mind. Like, how are we going to be reflected? Are they gonna show our downfalls? Are they gonna retrospect our resiliency? What country are they going to focus on the most on this whole story? Is it China? Is it the United States? Like, what does history say?
It's going to probably be, like you say, I think it is going to be talked about much in history, because this will be the first time that we've really the world has dealt with this type of disease in the modern age, right?
Right.
So this happened. This did happen. This has happened a few times before, but not to this extent, and not in this modern era. So I think a few things are going to happen in the future. Number one, they're going to say, "Wow, governments were able to shut down, and it affected the world, but they got through it." Number two, they're going to say, "Wow, these idiots, they should have done this, 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 and this." And then number three, I think that the world is going to look at this, and this is really interesting to me. I think the world is going to look at this and say, "Oh my God, that's why we do this today, or that's why we do that today." In other words, I think that this is going to change our behavior in general in the future. I think you're going to see a lot more people teaching and working online after this. I mean, after this disease is gone, I think you're going to see people washing their hands more. I think there's going to be more people studying medicine and virology. I think it's going to change a lot of habits around the world. I really, really do. Kind of like after 9/11, a lot of things changed. I have a feeling people are going to look back and be like, "Oh my God, is that when people started, I don't know, washing their hands all the time? Is that when people, started going on online dates? Is that when people?" I think it's going to change the actual behavior of humanity in some ways.
Oh, it has to. It has to. There's no way around that.
Yeah.
We do not resume business as usual. It will be business, but not usual. It'll be business as unusual.
Yeah, I think so. I think there are some things that we're doing through this that people kind of like, actually, and they're going to continue in the future. So it's a very, very strange thing. I just, it's the whole, where were you when blank happened? Well, this is our where were you, right? This is it.
Yeah, this is definitely it. Freddie, my friend, I'm going to kind of not hold you up anymore. I want to appreciate you even letting me pick your brain here. It was a real delight, man.
You're the best. You're one of my favorites, man. And by the way, John, you've congrats on all your success. You've been running.
Oh, man.
I remember you when you were a baby.
Just a little young pit bull running around, and you were a little puppy pit bull.
Yeah. And now you have a great following, and you're a real Miami guy. And we knew you were a Miami guy, but you have become a great Miami personality, and I'm honored that you let me be a part of your show.
Nah, man, thank you, Freddie, man. And you know what, man? This won't be the last time we'll have you on, man. We'll definitely have you on again in the future, man, because I know you're constantly doing so many things, man. And I feel like every time I talk to you, I feel like there's just more we could just keep going on.
Yeah. And John, if you don't mind, let me just mention real quickly. I have a new show that will resume. It's called Freddie and the Flamingos. It's a very popular lounge act, and I've been doing it at the Anderson, which is a great bar, and Bar Nancy in Little Havana. It's a super cool show. It's a lounge act, me in a pink tuxedo with my own band, the Flamingo Band, and it's a variety comedy show. It's very funny. We have burlesque girls and comics, and it's great. And we got to get you to be in it sometime when we resume in August.
It sounds great, man, and I can't wait for that to happen. Freddie, again, thank you so much, man. You are a legend, man. You are the best.
Oh, man.
Please continue to do your stuff, man.
No problem. Listen, I love you very much, young everyman, and everything. Happy birthday, okay? Happy birthday.
And thank you for being our correspondent, man. Go wipe your phone now after this. All right. Thank you, Freddie, man. Take care.
All right, John. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right.
Next topic.
I like to refer to this as our medical report. We've been in South Florida. We're going to move up the state now. We're going into Tampa. This guy was, oh, shit. I'm calling him on the wrong thing. We had him actually a few episodes ago on the Everyman podcast show. We picked his brain. He was our first doctor ever on the show. All right, there he is. I'm doing my little intro here for you. This is our doctor of the podcast. This is a very funny guy, Tampa comedian, Tampa local, Tampa medical professional, Vien Poma Chang.
What's up?
How are you, my friend? Hey, can you turn your phone sideways? I want to see if we can get the whole thing. I want to make sure if you're at home at your office. There we go. Okay,
There
you're
we
at home.
go.
You're at home. I can tell. How are you, Vien? How are you, doctor?
I've been well, Mr. Everyman.
Yes, I am so glad to hear that,
you.
man. I am so glad to hear that. I wanted to reach out to everybody, man. Number one, I've just been curious with everyone's position lately since this whole pandemic has started. And I was building the list, right? And as I was going, as these weeks went by, I said, how is it possible that I did not think of having this gentleman on our show and discuss such a topic? And I was like, I have to have him on here. So, Dr. Vien, I brought you on, one, to see how things were going for you out there in Tampa, number one, but to definitely pick your brain today about what's going on, man.
Oh, man. I don't know anything.
Well, I know that you're an ENT.
nothing.
I know you're an ENT, but it just brought curiosity. Number one, I know that every community's been affected uniquely.
Yeah.
I know, like, for example, down here in Miami, we were already doing the whole stay-at-home order. I just know that the rest of the state picked up. You're up there in Tampa. What are things like up there, first off, man?
A lot like everywhere else. I mean, we're supposed to stay home, trying to keep distance between everybody. Stores are open for food, for groceries, and everything else is shut down. Restaurants are takeout only. I think we're pretty uniform in this country finally. I think Florida took a while to kind of get on board, but
yeah, we did, man. We're a little behind the eight ball. But for you, when you first got this news as a medical professional, did you take it serious, or you're like,
Well, every year there's some virus, there's some infection. Like, there's been SARS, there's been Ebola, there's been West Nile, there's been, this, that, and the other. So when it first comes out, our natural reaction is that it's sort of overblown. The news does tend to pick up on something and say, make it worse than it is, just sometimes for a story. I think everyone was caught off guard that this was as real as it was, or as serious as it was.
Did your initial reaction, was it to be, as a medical professional, did you heed it seriously, or for you, did you feel like this is just another one coming up like every year? Because it sounds like, because I'm not gonna lie, you don't have to be a medical professional to feel like that. Some people hear something, they freak out. Some people are just like, man, I heard this last year.
That was my initial reaction.
Right. And you know what? I got a girlfriend. She's a nurse. You met her last time, Tiffany. And, even her, initially, she knew of it. It's not like she was calling me like, hey, we got to start social distancing. I could see that happening, man. I think that we all got blindsided by this, honestly.
Well, it's a once in a lifetime occurrence. The last thing that we had to compare this to was the Spanish flu from 100 years ago.
Right.
So it's something that not a lot of people have an experience to draw on. Not a lot of people have been through something like this. There's generations between events like this. So I don't think anyone's at fault for not knowing what to expect or not taking it seriously. I think there was enough evidence, early to react to once we saw that real things were happening. But, I was like everybody else. You kind of just wait and see.
And right now, at this point, under your profession as the ENT, are you working with patients now, or did you have to? Because you have to be up and close.
So the medical field has gone into sort of, we're kind of digging a trench, sort of. We're dealing with acutely ill people, like when people are. We're trying to take care of those people who need respiratory care, like ICU care, ventilatory care. And we're putting everything else aside because it's the kind of thing that's coming in big waves that's hard to manage. And so it's the flow is the problem, is that it's all happening at once. A bunch of people are getting sick at once. And so when that happens, it's like a traffic jam in the hospital.
Are
And
they
so
coming? Are they coming to your office personally with this coronavirus?
No, because we shut down the office. Pretty much everything is going through acute care, going through the hospital, through ER, through these outpatient testing centers. I mean, my practice is largely elective surgeries, like things that aren't critical. And so we're probably operating at about 30%. A lot of our stuff is done on the phone now. We're doing telehealth. And then we're seeing certain patients that are just, highly urgent patients, or we're called into the hospital. We rotate calls, so whoever's on call has to go into the hospital for urgent issues. So that's kind of pretty much what everybody's doing. Most doctors have like 90% of our work is non-critical, just everyday health stuff, blood pressure, stuff like that we don't have to necessarily deal with at this time. So we put all that stuff off.
Let me ask you, man, being the doctor of your neighborhood, have people been coming up to you to ask them if they think they have corona? Like, hey, doc, I've been sneezing 30 times. I got it.
Everybody with a tickle in their throat, everyone with an allergy or runny nose, everyone's like, should I get tested? Everybody's freaked out about it. And it's, I think it's a valid fear, but it's a little bit absurd at times. At the end of every conversation ends up being like, you think I got it? You think I got it? I always tell them yes. How in every movie, there's one dude, like the war movies, the one dude that's gonna die. You know who he is at the beginning?
Yeah.
If someone asks me, I always go, I had you picked.
Oh man. Oh man, Bien. Let me ask, man. Unfortunately, during this pandemic, Asians have been accused for the cause of this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts when you hear that?
I mean, it's as dumb as it sounds. I mean, a virus can start anywhere.
Right.
And it just happened to start in Asia. It's not like we had a meeting and we're like, let's get some viruses together and, pass them out like Halloween candy.
But I guess as an Asian, that's got to be offensive now to label just the Asian community at fault for such a thing.
I think if you're a person who sees an Asian person and somehow assigns blame for this based on race, I think you should get coronavirus. I think you deserve coronavirus.
Oh man, Doc, man, you tripped me out.
I think that there's like a population control element to this, and I hope you're on the wrong side of the statistics if you're someone who thinks that we're gonna assign race to this.
Yeah, nah. I mean, and some people are, unfortunately,
I think
though.
That there's a lot of people who have like barely enough intelligence to function in society. And when you add an element of fear or any sort of ignorance, you sprinkle that in and they become a boiling pot of idiocy. And it's that sort of situation.
Yeah.
Like I hope they go to the ER with coronavirus and there's an Asian doctor there and that their full-fledged racism is blowing over.
These damn Asians, they killing me and they saving me. Doc, let me ask you, man. So on the personal level, outside of your professionalism, what are you doing to pass the time?
I've been making a lot of content for just writing material, writing jokes, doing little short videos that I've been posting on social media, just stuff to keep my mind off of it, taking advantage of time, doing stuff I would normally do. I power washed my driveway today. That's a good way to pass the time.
Hell yeah, man. That sounded productive as fuck. I cleaned my floor.
I'm never going to do it again. It'll take another pandemic.
Once you were done, you said, all right, till the next pandemic.
It won't be till the next pandemic.
Where can people follow those videos, man?
I post them on social media. I post them on Instagram. My Instagram's at comic_doc. I've got a Facebook page, Comic Doc.
All right.
It's goofy stuff. Some of it's medically based humor. A lot of it's not. I found an app that allows me to have all of the Avengers superpowers, and
Hell
so
yeah.
I created a superhero. Like, the problem with most Avengers is that they're so average. Like, they only have like one power. So I created a dude that had all of their powers. He's Iron Doctor Strange Thor. And he's been in self-quarantine, so he's bored. So he's been using these powers in mischievous ways.
Hell yeah.
So check it out.
All right.
I know it's a long setup,
Fuck yeah.
but it's worth it.
Doc, thank you for the time. I really appreciate you, man. I hope everything works out for you and your family. Stay safe in these times, my friend.
Thanks, man. You do the same. Good hearing from you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Doc Vien. There we go, man. Thanks again, my friend.
He ran out of shit to say, so it's time to go. Yeah, that's
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, just like that, we hit the end of the line of the show. I wish we would have brought a little more, but whatever. We have a good time, no matter what. We still have a good time. We're glad to do this, whether falling apart or coordinatedly. Who cares? We are glad to bring it. Thank you to my guest, Dr. Vien. Thank you to Freddie Stebbins. Thank you to No Emotion. To our podcast friends out in the West, we will be in touch. I will be communicating with you guys for next week. I want to apologize for that in advance. And also our friends in New York City, we will be chatting it up with them. I promise to take us on that journey. This airplane did not take off. It barely did. But still, I have fun trying to make us fly. Guys, thank you again. I am your host, John Everyman. Thank you to my co-hosts who aren't here. I know those guys are doing a good job social distancing. Thank you to Walter for sacrificing himself here and putting himself on the line for this show. Guys, to our listeners, to our viewers, to our Facebook followers, man, thank you so very much for that. That was pretty cool. I appreciate you guys. In California, please stay strong, man. We love you out there. I hope everything's going good. Follow this show, guys. Follow us on Instagram, on social media, Everyman Podcast Show. On YouTube, subscribe and like. Get the notifications for these episodes. Everyman Podcast Show on YouTube. Also, follow us on our website, everymanpodcastshow.com. Thank you again, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. I'm hoping that for the last action of this episode, we do something right. You got that going right?
I'm about to break. Oh yeah. I dream big, think loud, step strong, no doubt. Don't you see I'm dying? Don't you see I'm dying? I dream big, think loud, step strong, no doubt. I need to do my thing just like you. I dream big, think loud, step strong, no doubt. Don't you see I'm dying? Don't you see I'm dying? I dream big, think loud, step strong, no doubt. I need to do my thing just like you, just like you.
Oh, they said they ain't cutting the lights off. Okay, I was just making
You don't
sure.
pay me enough.
Yeah, the sound guy said it's over. Fuck you. I don't even care if I got nothing to do with the electricity. I'm just out of here.